Can I just say this has been the craziest 3 days in my trading experience? Um, I'm down 477 on the week. However, yesterday was my biggest loss day, and I'm gonna go over that. But today we turned that around. We made $665. So the mistake I made, not following my stop loss and averaging down on a long. Well, yeah. Yesterday I went on a put position, but you know, it it was not disciplined yesterday, and this was not my loss. But I'll show you my loss for tomorrow. So today we're gonna talk about today, and then tomorrow we'll talk about yesterday's, not tomorrow's loss. We'll talk about yesterday and Monday's loss. I haven't had time, but today I had time, so we'll get into it. So made 679 on the day. Then I gave back $13 on IWM, and I was like, let me. That's it. I just wanted to try something. Um, so the markets have been very, very sensitive to headlines recently. We're not really sure. Okay, there's a lot of talks back and forth where it's like, okay, is are we having a ceasefire? What's going on with the war? Iran says this. George Trump says this. Iran denies it. So it's a lot of very sensitive headline, and it's becoming a bit like unfair and almost I mean, it's all manipulative. We know that, but this is like to an extreme. We've had some crazy wicks yesterday and today and Monday, just insane. Where I don't even know what to be. I don't even know how to explain it. Anyways, we've been trading more QQQ. I like the swings on this, but something I've noticed, if we look here on the daily chart, hopefully this daily is clean. That daily is not clean because it's full of marking. So I've noticed the daily on the 9 EMA, we've been rejecting, wicking off constantly at this level at the 9. So we didn't touch the 9 in this area. This candle we not even hit the 9, but we're close enough to the 9 to wick off of it. And I'm noticing that this 9 EMA is slowly pulling back the price up, but it's not maintaining. So the last couple of days I've noticed that. But also we have the 200 moving average here where price is being slowly brought down to support level. You see we're closing at the 200 moving average. We've been closing there very, very close. So that's like kind of like a magnet. And it's a very strong support, 200 exponential moving average, very, very strong today. So really, we did have some economic data come out today, but it wasn't anything significant. So I sat down this morning and I was like, okay, how am I going to play today? We've been seeing this crazy pumps pre-market. Yesterday we had a nasty pump. I should just go in chronological order. Then I'll talk about today. Monday, what happened? I lost 142. This was the 23rd. Okay, 23rd. 23rd, I gave up. Guys, this day could have been a 3 grand potential day. So we're going to go all the way back down 1K. Let's look at these positions. Not bad. This is bad. That was Tuesday. Monday. Okay. So Monday I start off. I'm not gonna go into my positions because it's gonna be a longer video, but I'm just gonna go general what I was thinking. I was going puts, and then we can see here this price action. Why puts? Well, look at this insane candle, guys. The pre-market. I think there's some news about the war ending. Boom. Pre-market, this never happens. From 576 all the way to 597 in a pre-market session is unbelievable, unthinkable. So I'm like, this has to go down at the open at least. So I'm waiting. Sorry, I got freaked out. I thought I saw a really big spider. This is a small spider. I'll take care of it. So we wicked down, or we wicked all the way up, hit a high of 596. So 596, and this is on QQQ. SPY, let's just take a look at that. Crazier. I mean, same thing. All indexes went up pre-market that same morning. Absolutely insane. This doesn't happen from 643, $20 move pre-market. Like at that point, it's almost scam-like, where what do you do? It's like, okay, it kind of ruins your plans for the day in a sense, and you don't know how this trading will go, and then you have to really base off the pre-market. At this point, you kind of have to. So continuing off the pre-market, I was a dummy. I bought puts right here at the bottom. Why? Well, we were already going into a crossover, and I assumed here we would hit the 200 moving average. But nope, that's not what happened. It kept going up higher and higher. And I was in a multi-put position. Multiple puts at the same time. 590 puts. I was in 583, 593, because it kept going higher. I'm like, nope, this is going to reach a peak. We've peaked at 597, and I'm like, okay, 595 potentially. And I just didn't hold. I sold way too soon. It kept on going, and going. I was already deep. Like I think I was down like 300, 400. It I don't know. I was like, this has to go down. This is really, really extended. Also, the 15-minute too. I'm looking at the 15-minute on this chart, which I thought was really extended. Let's see right here. So look at this 15-minute chart. It to me, it just was just very, very extended. I was like, this trend is going to, eventually die out. We've had a crazy $20 squeeze, almost $30, and I'm like, okay, this is gonna go down. Like I'm playing the technical thing, it's getting thinner and thinner, but I bailed out way too soon. So as you can see, it actually dropped pretty significantly. Um, I think I sold somewhere as soon as it was dropping a little bit further, right around like five. Let me see. Really don't remember, but I was in deep positions. I was in A positions here. I profited on the 593s. So I caught out, I believe, as soon as it was crossing like through in 593, breaking into 592. I think pretty sure that's where I got out because I had to go to work too, which did kind of upset me. And just to see this keep crashing down, 10, 20 minutes later, all the way down to 588, 587. My puts, guys, these 593 were worth $600. $600 by 8. Like, if you do the math, 600 times 8, $2,400. These puts would have also been somewhere, around the $500, $400 range. These would have been probably 2x or 3x, or no. I think I got these for pretty high, 269. So not good, not good. But they did end up going higher, but I sold. So, I just jumped in too soon. I jumped in too soon at the open. That was my first mistake. Second mistake, I wasn't waiting for a retest. And at this point, now we'll go to the daily here. At this point, I think the daily was already at 595 on the 9 EMA. So Monday. So yeah, right here, if we look at the 9 EMA, it's 594.34, and it wicked off that level. It rejected immediately, all to fall down and close to the 200 moving average. So I'm like, okay, that got me thinking. That has to mean something. We have to close. The previous closing price was like 584. We haven't closed anywhere close to that so far. But actually, no, we opened. So that kind of got me salty because I could have made a lot. Then the next day, disaster. Straight disaster, guys. Straight disaster. So what was I thinking the next day? Well, I was like, okay, I'm on down to 42. I'll be okay. 583, 584. Okay, I actually profited first on the 583 calls. And I took this position here as soon as we hit the double bottom. Well, not double bottom. I noticed this, look, 5-minute trend ending. I noticed this is a doji candle at the bottom of the trend, and I'm like, hey, this is a sign of reversal. I'm gonna take this trade. I took the trade up, and I got on for $64. Then the next one, I was taking calls 585. Because here's the thing, this is what was going on. This was crazy. I think it was crazier on the 1-minute chart. We had this nasty wick. We had this area of consolidation. VWAP was like somewhere around here, and I was like, this is looking not so bullish. This is looking kind of bearish. And then we get some piece of news that boosts us up from 584 all the way to 586, and I was like, what the hell went on? And again, there was some sort of headline. I'm trying to pull back from yesterday. It was crazy, because then we see these wicks. Yeah, right here. So look, as soon as this breaks down, instantly this candle whips all the way back up. And I'm like, what the hell just happened? So to me, I thought this was going to be more of a bearish trend. I'm continuing off the pre-market, but no, it didn't. We had a headline that came out. I forgot what it was, but yeah, I think someone replied to my comments. So we'll check here. Yeah, from 7:30 to 8, a lot of people were caught off guard because I think we weren't really sure what happened from 7:30 to 8. So from here to there, like crazy. It was unexplainable. And then we had this wick all the way back down, but bounced up and it kept on going higher and higher. And I was in puts. I mean, I was in calls that I got out of initially because I was like, no, it's consolidating. It's breaking through the 920. This doesn't seem very, very strong. And the 4 hour too, I believe, the day before yesterday, this is where we're at. And I was like, okay, to me, this looks very more. To me, it just seemed more bearish. I was like, okay, I thought we were gonna go down, breaking through these wicks, heading to a new downtrend, potentially hitting the bottom 573. It's just everything was just out of place. It just was normal, not normal. A lot of these last few days were not normal, and that's war. War is gonna happen. War is gonna be like that, and I, you know, I am an idiot. So I was being an idiot yesterday and did drop a little bit, but not to where we wanted to. Our prices would have been decayed, so we wouldn't have profited because I think I got in. This is look how high I got in. I got in these 585 puts at $300, guys. $300 for 585 puts. When really, if I wanted to target this, maybe above the 200 moving average would be a good area to go puts, and then short from there. But both ways could work. In this market, you can profit both ways. So that just wasn't good. I was holding for too long. I held for way too long. As soon as this broke, as soon as we had these nasty wicks, the 1 minute is what really threw me off. As soon as I saw this coming, I like this should have been the indication to just get out. No questions asked. So that was yesterday. Today was a lot better. So it's a little meme. Warsaw over, Warsaw back. It's been like that all the time. Okay, so right here, I only traded QQQ. I like it. So far, it's been giving more better momentum than IWM. IWM has been stalling out. So today was a bit better planned. I was like, okay. I took the first 589 puts. We had a at 6:30, 6:40. We had a headline coming out. So right here, look. As soon as I heard this, no confirmed date or venue, possible Iran talks. Iran has not agreed yet to, talks. So as soon as I heard that headline, that's when I took my position. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna make sure I'm going, you know, 589, 178. I was like, those contracts are pretty cheap. So I took it there. And as soon as I broke through the 5 minute 200 moving average, that's when I was exiting and I got out. So 104 for that first trade. I was like, great, I will take it. Then here's where we were getting a little bit riskier. So as we were going back up, I was like, okay, this right now does not seem to be very supportive, very, bullish moves. So the start is going up. I take a trade right here, thinking we'd wick off of the 9 EMA. And then I'm only in one contract. I believe in these, I'm in the five. I think right here I was in 588. Yeah, I took 588 puts here. Then it keeps going higher. I'm like, okay, we have a high of day established. Kind of already wicked off this level twice at the 591. 591 was today's 200 moving average. So we'll go here. So 200, today's 200 moving average right here. Look at the top left. 9 EMA close, 591.36. I was like, that has to be the high for today. That's the resistance because we are in a downtrend. Markets are weaker than strong. We're not bullish. So I'm like, okay, I will take an area of 589 here because I thought we were going to break through, kept going higher. So I was holding two positions at 588, 589. Then I went 590. So it took me a while to go 590 to add another position because I was like, okay, I don't know if this will break into the new high of day and keep going further, but I was going to be trusting myself that the 9 EMA would cause a rejection. As soon as this trend started to get weaker and break through, that's when I took 590s to be safe. Then I took multiple 590s. I added, no, I did not add multiple 590s. I added two more 589s. So where did I add? One more 589. There we go. That's where I added this 589. As soon as we were breaking through the 200 moving average, we instantly went from 588 all the way to down to 585, and I thought that was crazy. So what happened at 8 a.m. 8 a.m. a headline came out. So let's see. So 11:10, 11:15. So it's gonna be 8:15 right here. So the nuclear power plant struck again. So Iran's Bushehr nuclear power plant struck again. So we were striking Iran's power plants, and obviously that's going against everything that Trump has said. War is not ending. We're still in the war, and that caused a nasty downtick. And that's when I sold all my positions. I waited for further break. I was wanting to target the low of the day. I'm like, okay, we have only one low of the day established, and that low was at 586.68. Broke through that immediately. I took my profit off the table, and that's how I left the day with today. And it did regain all the way back to the view app. So you could say that, yeah, you can go calls on this and say, no, this is going to bounce back pretty quickly. The 1 minute on this looks pretty crazy. Right here. Jesus. I didn't even notice. So I was just shocking. So yeah, 1 minute, we'll look at how that unfolded. The 1 minute QQQ is just very, very, oh, I think it kind of gives me heart attacks. But seeing how things go, I'm like, holy crap. Like just watching this in real time was just crazy. We're slowly going, slowly going, bounce up to the VWAP, and then instantly started crashing. And as soon as I saw this candle just flush, I was like, this is time to get out right now. Got out at the bottom, and then boom, things started recovering. You could take 85 calls, 586 calls, and you would have profited probably just as much. And you see here, the 1 minute reached the 200 moving average, boom, rejected again. And then I think at this point I was trying to play IWM for a little bit because I was like, okay, there was a lot of dramatic sell off today. I was trying to capture some calls. So I took a position for 251 calls. They were pretty deep in the money, but I was looking for a break to 252, so we'll go into this one. And also I noticed, I was like, okay, short interest is pretty high. It spiked up yesterday. Maybe people are going to try to cover. Maybe we can get some short squeeze action. So, okay, I'm holding, flushes down, creates a, bounce off 200, wicks off again. I'm like, that's not really that good, but I'll see where this goes because I'm pretty deep in the money. It's staying above 251 clearly, bounces off to 200 again, goes up higher and higher, and it fills. So I get out around here and I see it go up all the way to 250, 265, but it didn't really hold. Didn't break towards the new highs, looking for 253. And then we ended the day on this ETF pretty flat, honestly. We ended flat. This whole day ended flat. Yeah, that's how we close out today. It was pretty like stressful, at least yesterday and Monday. But today was a good high. But anyways, yeah. So I gonna try to see if this can work since we are in a bit more of a bearish environment, bearish trend. It's not a real bearish market yet. I don't know when you would coin that term, but we will see what tomorrow brings. And I'm targeting the 9 EMA, and then the opposite should be true, right? If we're in a bullish environment, we should be bouncing off the 9 EMA, you know. So let's see. Let me look at QQQ. Maybe not all the time. It's really hard to tell. But I think it could be a good baseline of like, okay, this is where we have the flooring. If we're in a bullish environment, we're not going to go below this a certain area. So I'm looking here. We didn't even touch the 9 EMA like at all. Like you can see on this whole trend right here, it did not even come close to it. So that just shows you how strong our markets are. And yeah, just crazy. So yeah, all right, take care, guys. Peace.